Now let's look at an example of a Venn diagram. And like I said earlier, this is a good tool if you're dealing with groups that overlap. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a Venn diagram that represents the situation, and then we're going to use the diagram to answer the questions. In this example, it says a class of 50 students. So let's write this down as we go along. We have 30 that play soccer. We have 25 that play basketball. We have 20 that play tennis. We have 15 that play soccer and basketball. We have 12 that play soccer and tennis. We have 10 that play basketball and tennis. And then lastly, we have 5 that play all 3 sports. So we're going to first start by making our Venn diagram. Now, a Venn diagram, we have circles that represent the different groups. And where the circles overlap is going to be where we have those members that are in both groups. When you create a Venn diagram, the easiest way to approach it is to look at the overlaps first and then build outward. So I'm going to label this S for soccer, B for basketball, and then this circle down here will be T for tennis. Let's first look at the intersection of all 3. This says 5 play all 3 sports. So where all 3 circles overlap, we're going to have to put that there's 5 people in all 3 of those groups. Now, we're going to work outwards now. Let's look at this 10 play basketball and tennis. Because we know that 10 play basketball and tennis overlap right here. However, we already have 5 in that group that overlapped with basketball and tennis. And we want a total of 10 in that area that overlaps. So I'm going to put 5 of those who play just basketball and tennis so that the total that overlap basketball and tennis is 10. Now let's look at 12 that play soccer and tennis. Let's pick a different color. Okay, so looking at where soccer and tennis overlap, soccer and tennis overlap in this area. 12 should be in that area where they overlap. We already have 5 in that overlap area, so we want 7 to be left to give us a total of 12. So only 7 play soccer and tennis, but 5 play all 3. But that group of 5 is still in the group that play soccer and tennis. Okay, let's look at the next group. We have 15 play soccer and basketball. Looking at the overlap of where we have soccer and basketball, that's this yellow area right here, including the 5. 15 play soccer and basketball. There's 5 already in that overlap. So there should be 10 in this area where it's just yellow. So there's 15 that play soccer and basketball, where the 5 that's in the center play all 3, but it's still in the category of soccer and basketball. Now let's look at those that play tennis. There's 20 that play tennis. If we look at the entire tennis circle, we already have 17 in that circle. But we need a total of 20 that play tennis. So there's going to be 3 that play tennis only. Now let's look at those who play basketball. Everybody that plays basketball should be in this blue circle here. 25 should be in that blue circle in total. There are 20 that are already in that circle. So we need 5 left in there to make 25 in total that play. All right, last one. Let's look at 30 play soccer. So here's our soccer circle. Everybody in this circle plays soccer. We already have 22 in that circle that play. So there should be 8 more that don't overlap with anything, so that we have a total of 30. Now, when I add up all of these different groups, I have to add up each of these values separately so I don't double count anything. When I add up 8 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 7 plus 3, when I add all of those up, I get 43. However, the question says we have 50 in the entire class. So what that means is, when I make my Venn diagram, everybody in this box is part of the sample. If there's people that are not in any of the groups, but they're still in the sample, then they're outside of the circles, but still inside the rectangle. So we would say inside the rectangle, we still have 7 people. So there are 7 people that don't play any sports at all. So now we have a total of 50 people in the rectangle for the entire sample, and 43 of them play some kind of sport. So let's use this to answer our questions up here. Part A, how many students play at least one sport? So we just counted those up here. Everybody that's within one of the circles, not double counting anybody, we have a count of 43. So there's 43 people that play at least one sport, and then there's 7 people that don't play any sports. Let's look at Part B. What is the probability that a randomly selected student plays soccer or basketball? So I need to count up how many people who are in soccer and basketball without double counting. So if I add up soccer or basketball, I have 8 plus 10 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 5. That gives me a total of 40 people that play soccer or basketball. And there's 50 in the entire class, in the entire sample. So I would have 40 out of 50 is my probability of someone playing soccer or basketball. And if I put that in decimal form, it's 0.8. Okay, looking at part C, Given that a student plays tennis, what is the probability that they also play soccer? So this is an assumption. We want to narrow down the group. We're making the assumption that the person that we choose, we know plays tennis. So instead of taking it out of the entire 50 students, we're going to look at just the people that play tennis. And out of the people that play tennis, how many people play soccer? So, out of all the people that play tennis, that is a total of 20. Right? We have the 7, the 5, the 5, and the 3. Now, out of those people, the number of that play soccer, that's in this group right here. So in the tennis group, the people that play soccer is the 7 and the 5. So that's 12 out of the 20 that play soccer. So that's 12 out of 20. What is the probability that a student plays exactly 2 sports? So now we have to look at all the people that play exactly 2 sports. So this group of 10 right here play exactly 2 sports. This 5 right here play exactly 2 sports. That's the basketball and the tennis. This group of 7 right here plays soccer and tennis. We do not want to include the very center of 5 because they play all 3 sports. So we want to add up the 10, the 5, and the 7 to get 22 out of a total of 50. So the answer to this is 22 out of 50. So you can see how when you have a lot of overlapping groups, it's nice to create this diagram because it helps you figure out what groups overlap, and it helps you not double count certain members of the different groups or sets.